We're at the point in the offseason where things really start to heat up. The hot stove begins to burn and we start to see free agents sign. But the market is usually dictated by those players at the top of it. So what we're going to be doing here over the next coming couple of weeks is we're going to be examining the best free agents and their 5 most likely landing destinations for this 2026 campaign and beyond. So keep it locked in here at the Baseball Banter Broadcast and let's get into it. Now, as we get to the next player in our top 5 landing destinations countdown, it is that of Ranger Suarez. And for me, a dark horse candidate for the services of Suarez is that of the Baltimore Orioles. We know that the Orioles have a new ownership group that is looking to kind of make their stamp on this team. And while they have not necessarily been as active as people may have thought when they took over the team, being able to go out this offseason and bring in a guy like Ranger Suarez could absolutely be the salvo that the team and fans have been clamoring for. Going out and spending money on a guy like Ranger Suarez really does give the Orioles an opportunity to get their names right back into the contest and into the conversation in the American League East. Everyone is discussing the Blue Jays and their recent acquisition of Dylan Cease, the Red Sox and their recent acquisition of Sonny Gray. It was just 2 seasons ago in 2024 that the Yankees were in the World Series. And we always know how active and the way the Tampa Bay Rays always seem to find a way to do things that nobody's paying attention to and be successful at it. But one thing that has been lacking in the division has been the conversation around the Baltimore Orioles. Almost as if the wasted potential of the young players is witnessing right before us. How do you stop that narrative and stop that conversation from happening? By going out and adding to the top end of this rotation. Being able to go out and get a guy like Ranger Suarez could absolutely help the Orioles get back into the conversation in the American League and into the conversation atop the American League East. Ranger Suarez could be a fit, and the Orioles could be a potential dark horse candidate to go out and sign the lefty. Now, another team that does not want to get left in the dust of their division is that of the San Francisco Giants. The Giants have been an active team. They have been a team that has been in conversations with basically every single top free agent that has hit the market over the last several years. And while they have swung and missed on most, the last several years, they have been laying the groundwork with this new front office group and new ownership group that is really putting themselves into a position to be successful. How else do you go and augment this team by getting back to the roots that won you championships in 2010, 2012, and 2014? You do so by bringing in quality pitching and having that be the foundational piece of this organization. When you think about what Ranger Suarez could be for that San Francisco Giants rotation, especially in that ballpark, it could absolutely be a tremendous fit. And you think about the fact that the Padres' direction in this upcoming season is truly unknown with the potential sale of the team not being sold. You don't know what their financial situation looks like. You also have the reigning defending 2-time World Series champions in the Los Angeles Dodgers that you want to be able to dethrone. Let's not forget that the Giants are the only team in the last decade to stop the Dodgers from winning the division in the National League West. How else do you go out there to try to combat what the Dodgers have been doing, being able to be a super team and bring in every single player? By bringing one in of your own to add to the core of this team that you have been building. Ranger Suarez could absolutely help the San Francisco Giants get back and stop looking like a mediocre team that is a non-destination for baseball free agents. Bringing in Ranger Suarez could be the tide that turns the page for the San Francisco Giants. So be out on the lookout for Suarez and potential fits with the San Francisco Giants. Coming in at number 3 on my list for the services of Ranger Suarez is that of the New York Mets. When you think about what the Mets have been doing this offseason, it has been a ruthless and aggressive pace, being able to try to change over their team because they have not hit the mark set out by their owner. Steve Cohen wanted a 3 to 5 year window in which the New York Mets would not only get back to the World Series, but win it all. That has not happened. So how else are you going to go out than being able to add in some players that are going to add to this team in a significant way, but also being able to add to this team with players that are going to be here for the long haul? You already started to see some moves and some aggressive moves by trading away one of the long-standing faces of the New York Mets organization in Brandon Nimmo for Marcus Semien. So now, how else do you go and change the face of this organization? By bringing in one of the top starters from one of your division rivals in Ranger Suarez. Suarez could absolutely be a fit for the New York Mets in this offseason, and it is going to be a matter of how much this face of this team wants to change under the tutelage and guidance of David Stearns. Being able to take away a division rival only strengthens your team and weakens the team that you are chasing atop the National League East Division. For the Mets, a fit with Ranger Suarez does seem impossible. Now, on the other end of that New York Mets, Brandon Nimmo, Marcus Semien trade was that of the Texas Rangers, who find themselves as the number 2 most likely landing destination, in my opinion, for the services of Ranger Suarez. The Rangers have put themselves into a position where people are starting to question their moves. The last time they were questioned about the moves that they made was when they were bringing in Marcus Semien and Corey Seager. They went out then and got Jacob deGrom. And how else do you augment this team and rebuild and put themselves back into a position where, like they were in 2023, winning their first World Series title in franchise history? You go out and you get quality starting pitching. Ranger Suarez could absolutely fit for the Texas Rangers, and especially with the way that they're trying to manipulate the payroll, it could very easily be because of trying to bring in a quality starting pitcher like Ranger Suarez to headline this rotation with a rebounding Jacob deGrom. When you think about what that 1-2 combination could be amongst the other potential fits on that roster, the Rangers could be setting themselves up for another claim atop the American League West division. Right now, it seems like that division is favorited by the Seattle Mariners. But with the regression of the Houston Astros, the never knowing what the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim are ever doing, and it's seemingly not having any real direction for the Athletics, who remain homeless, even though they're playing in a minor league park in Sacramento for these next couple of seasons, the Rangers have the opportunity to really put themselves back atop the conversation in the American League West division. Going out and getting a guy like Ranger Suarez could really help cement themselves as one of the favorites coming out of the AL West. Now, as we get into the number 1 and most likely landing destination, it is a return to Philadelphia with the Phillies. The Phillies have been accused over the last several years of running it back, and this offseason is going to be more of the same. However, what changes this offseason is the 3 players that the Phillies are seeing depart in free agency, Kyle Schwarber, JT Realmuto, and Ranger Suarez, are all absolute fits for this team in terms of their future success. When you think about what the departure of a Ranger Suarez could mean for Philadelphia, it could mean a regression and a falling back to the pack. We have seen the Braves be struggling with health over the past couple of seasons, which has fallen them off a cliff. You've seen the Mets be able to be the highs of what they were a couple of seasons ago, but also the lows of last year, not even making the postseason. The Phillies have been able to run away with the National League East division over the past couple of seasons, and it is partly because of players like Ranger Suarez. If the Phillies allow Ranger Suarez to depart and do not be able to find themselves a replacement for his services, that puts them in a much more terrible position, and it puts the rest of the division in a much more advantageous position. The Phillies are not going to want to relinquish the hold that they have had on the National League East, or being able to be a team that is finding themselves once again not just back in the postseason, but trying to make a deeper run. Losing out on Ranger Suarez in this offseason feels like a move that the Philadelphia Phillies cannot afford to make. So while yes, they have been running it back with no real success in terms of World Series championships, this is a player that you are not going to skimp on in bringing back, just because it has been one of the players that has been there for this run. And while the Philadelphia Phillies are in a position to be able to bring back Ranger Suarez and do even more than beyond that, being able to bring back this lefty is going to be of paramount importance. If Philadelphia wants to get back to not just being in the postseason in 2026, but potentially having a deeper run as they had back in 2022 when they made it to the World Series and what was at that point seemingly an impromptu run. If the Phillies want to get back to that point and potentially more, Ranger Suarez is going to be of the utmost importance to bring back. But I want to hear from you, baseball fans. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings down in the comment section below. Where is the most likely landing destination for Ranger Suarez? What does that contract look like in terms of years and dollar amounts? Let me know that down in the comments. And while you're down there, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell for post notifications, so each and every time we drop new content here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast that you will be notified. We have a ton of new content coming in 2026, a ton of new contributors here on the channel, and you're not going to want to miss a single moment of it. So again, I want to thank you for joining me here. If you're not seeing the kind of coverage that you want on your team here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast, reach out. There may be a potential spot for you here to join us on the team. And as always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.